Good morning, traders. It is Tuesday, August 26th. Quick reminder, yesterday I mentioned I'm going to be giving away a Woozer Strap 3. Now, if you love music, you love beats, this is amazing. I bought it for somebody that they don't need it, so I'm giving it away. At the end of this video, I'll show you a clip, what it looks like, and how you can possibly win it. So anyways, let's jump into the charts. We're seeing equities a little bit mixed. We've got the Russell slightly positive and the rest of the indices slightly negative. Again, the market's trying to shake off the recent news with the Jackson Hole. We had selling going into the Jackson Hole meeting, people getting nervous. The market ended up dipping into oversold territory. It tagged the pink line, which is on the 30-minute chart and the daily chart. They're both the same. They're the 20-day moving average. So it's settling into support. Intraday, it's chopping through it. We have gone into this oversold market condition a few times. You can see how the market rebounds and gets a little bit volatile after that, and that's where we're at. The market's digesting, putting in what looks to be a little bit of a bull flag, and the underlying trend remains up. So we should see this market want to continue to go higher and have a leg up at any point. I think a lot of people are waiting on NVIDIA news. I do feel like the sentiment is changing a little bit. I think people might realize maybe things are slowing down. So maybe NVIDIA doesn't have to blow away earnings as much as they used to in order to satisfy the group. I remember before they would have killer earnings expected and they would blast past them with way better earnings, like huge. And people still weren't happy with it, and they would sell into the news. I find trading news and all that stuff so backwards. But we'll see. I think things are slowly changing. If there's no doubt they're going to move the market. But even if the earnings aren't the greatest, I feel like people think things are slowing down a little bit, and they'll be okay if they're not crazy growth. But again, I don't know how the masses are going to react and how the algos react to it. I think a lot of systems are tapped into the news around NVIDIA, so there's going to be a lot of volume and probably intraday volatility, or at least for a couple of days after that. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the markets. We have seen money flowing away from the defensive space. We saw utilities down fairly sharply. Yesterday, if we look at consumer staples, two big down days. Really, people getting out of the most boring sector there is. Healthcare, I think, was down as well, a pretty big pullback. So we might be seeing money starting to slowly accumulate, coming out of these boring defensive sectors, including gold and silver, and maybe getting ready to be positioned to put in something that's a higher growth. Could be tech stocks, could be small caps, whatever it is. But we're definitely seeing some money come out of these defensive plays, and that money's going to go somewhere. At this point, it doesn't seem like it's kind of going anywhere. It might be sitting in cash waiting for NVIDIA. I'm not sure, but that's kind of where we're at. Now, if we take a look at the dollar, we do have the dollar index down about 0.25%. It's kind of all over the place. Jackson Hole news creating some dips and blips here. But in the grand scheme of things, it is trying to carve out a bottom. It's starting to flatline a little bit. The question is, can it break out and get into an actual solid uptrend, or is it going to roll over and continue to go down? We do have gold trading slightly positive this morning. I think people don't know what to do, so gold's kind of drifting higher. But again, gold's been going sideways for so long, people are giving up on it. I know some technical analysts that are getting very bearish on gold, which blows my mind because from a technical standpoint, there's no reason to be bearish on gold. All the moving averages are up. Price is very bullish. It's holding all of that stuff. So I think people are starting to emotionally, who are overly attached to gold, are getting really tired of it and starting to worry. And I think that's why we're seeing silver and miners do well, as gold's gone sideways for, how long? It's 4 months or longer. And so people are looking for somewhere else. So like, I'm going to go to miners, see if I can get some money out of that, or go to silver. And that's a good sign. That means, when something gets bored, then usually it's going to start to come to life. And I think it's getting pretty close to taking the lead and going higher here. If we take a look over at silver, down slightly today. Again, it's holding up in a pattern above the 50 and 20 day, primed and ready. At any point, we could see the precious metal space pop and run. If we look at gold or silver miners, let's just look at the silver miners like SILJ. It's holding up near the highs, so definitely money is bored out of their skull in gold, and they're moving into silver miners looking for action. And of course, that money flow is pushing them up, and it does. When you look at it here on the 30-minute chart, you can see, just like the stock indices themselves, it's had a big pop and this tight little bull flag that actually points to higher pricing. If we were to just use this pattern, this 30-minute pattern, it gives us a short upside target that technically today or tomorrow we could see silver pop up, or SILJ pop up. It could go to pop 2.5 to, let's see if we can grab this, to almost a 5% pop. That could happen very, very quickly, just based on this little tiny pattern. So we'll see how that unfolds and unwinds. Now, if we take a look at crude oil, it's down 1.7%. Talked about this yesterday. I think we've seen this a couple times here. We've seen, let's just look at the 30-minute chart. We get these red shaded background areas. We had it again yesterday. These are hooks. This is where shorts cover. The oil starts to move up and the shorts are like, oh, I'm on the wrong side. It also triggers FOMO for those who aren't in oil and who watch it way too closely. They're like, I'm missing out. So they all pile in. And then, of course, it goes the opposite way. And we had that yesterday. We had a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of not FOMO. Well, we kind of had some FOMO in the market, but we had an overbought red shaded territory telling us it's moved up a little bit too much. It's in a downtrend, and usually sellers are going to come back in and hammer it. And it is trading down almost 2% today with that little pop and hook that we can see on the daily chart, which I explained in detail yesterday. If we look at the rest of the market, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin really just falling out of bed. Some pretty big volume. People are giving up on it. It was setting up for a really nice explosive move. We got in somewhere with one of our band strategy. We got in somewhere over here. We trimmed some off, I think, right up here. We got in again. We sold some, I think, up here, or we definitely sold some right up at the high over here. Closed out the position. And now we're out of that, and it's just not showing. It's getting to be really ugly. I was starting to like Bitcoin because we had some really nice trades in it in the past year or so, but now it's just gone ugly, and I'm personally just kind of ignoring it now. Once it gets into this phase, I'm not a huge fan. This could be a shakeout. It might want to start to rally again, but I'm just not feeling the high momentum move. I think Ethereum has got the action, it's got the money flow, and people are rotating out of this and going into other places. So that to me is a sign that Bitcoin is kind of matured to some regard. This type of price action is just saying it's getting bored. It's the old play on the crypto, it seems, at this point. If we look at a couple powerhouses here, we have Nvidia. It's stuck under resistance right through these highs and through this volume here. If it does break out and run to the upside, obviously it's going to drag the indices higher. It's primed and ready for a big move. We just need to see which way it's going to go. It has been more or less going sideways. We could argue here for a couple of months. And the longer something goes sideways, the more power it builds. And then when it breaks out, it can have that big move. Another powerhouse here is Tesla. Tesla has been building this, zoom out a bit here, this put in a bottom, and then it's built this launch pad, and it's rallied up. It's had a controlled pullback. It's got some high volume buying the last couple of days. If it can break out here, if Nvidia and Tesla start to pop and run, Tesla's got potential to run up fairly significantly to the upside, which will also drag the indices higher going forward. So we're primed and ready with a couple of the big wigs here, ready to pop and run to drag the markets higher. And we are long the markets, so we do want the markets to go higher. And let's just hope that they get some traction and Nvidia news is seen as bullish, or whatever it is, it just gets bought into. We'll have to see how that unfolds and go from there. Last but not least, I don't think I talked about this in the video recently. We did cover this in our mentoring session last week. I wanted to touch on the economic and business cycle here and the stock market cycle. Long story short, this yellow cycle here is the economic cycle. This is what's going on with the economy and business. The stock market cycle is behind. So the stock market generally bottoms before the economy because investors are savvy. They see the end coming of bad news. Although there'll still be bad news in the economy and people will be suffering, the stock market will bottom before the economy. The stock market also tops out before the economy. And I think we're still in a major topping phase. The market is dragging out. It is refusing to put in a top, which is fine. We continue to ride it higher. And I think we're in this innovation, adaptation phase. And this time around, the innovation is AI. It is the largest big tech companies that people are all bringing this in-house and taking this over. So it's created a ton of infrastructure, a ton of growth. And of course, the stocks that happen to belong to this drive the markets. They become so big that they drag the markets higher. So we're in this innovation phase. And the question is, how long is that going to last? Once that starts to peter out, and I think people are starting to see, yes, AI is amazing. It's still the tip of the iceberg, but we're already seeing this with ChatGPT and all kinds of other companies. They're trimming back on their spending. They're bleeding money, trying to be ahead of the curve, and they're realizing it's getting too expensive. And so things are starting to slow in the innovation phase a little bit, and they're trying to refine and become more efficient and take more measured moves. So I believe we're very close. And of course, we have industrials and things like that. If we were to look at the market, look at the industrial space, we have seen lots of people. Now, this doesn't have to do directly with AI, but we've definitely been seeing companies build infrastructure and do all kinds of stuff. We're also seeing that the communication sector has been taking off and moving higher. Everything in building around electricity supply and networking and stuff have been doing well. And of course, we tend to see industrials do really well up near major market tops. And if we take a look and go to the business cycle here, we tend to see near a stock market top, we see precious metals do well, which is what we've seen. Energy stocks have done really well. They've been holding up. Oil, not so much, but we're definitely seeing precious metals and energy stocks are still lingering up near the highs. And of course, industrial capital goods. So that's the industrial space of people upgrading, and they're still eager. Business is going to grow. Meanwhile, I think the music's about to stop. So I really think we're close to this top, which I have been thinking for a while. But overall, we'll just let this market continue to work itself out. We'll follow the trends here. We'll see if the market can get some traction, and we'll just take it one bar at a time. All right, so as I mentioned yesterday, I bought this for a friend, but they don't need it. And this is called a Woosier Strap 3. It lets you feel the music. It goes around your chest and to your chest plate. It vibrates, and you can set all kinds of stuff with it. It's worth about $300 or something like that. It's awesome. I have one for working out, for just being active. It feels like you're in the concert. It really is absolutely amazing. Put your earbuds in, this all connects. And it's brand new in the box. This hasn't been opened, so I want to just give it away, get it off my desk here. It's been sitting here for quite a while, and let somebody else experience. So if you want a Woosier 3, I'm going to do a little draw. Make a comment with Woosier in it so that I know. I want to make sure this goes into the hands that somebody's going to put it to use and love it, and they got to really love the beats. This is really good for not classical music so much, but something with driving beats and all that stuff. So anyways, yeah, I'll give this away, and I'll announce the winner in a few days.